Hey everybody, welcome back to Shop Talk. We got a little bit of different episode today, so stick around and find out. All right, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Iowa Hawkeyes. If you haven't noticed, if you've watched any of the episodes, obviously I'm a big fan of the Hawkeyes. And today was, or I guess yesterday was their bowl game, and I watched it. I didn't know really what to expect. This season has been up and down. It's kind of hard to describe really. It started off with such a poor start where the offense actually was outscored by the defense by scoring two safeties. So, we didn't really expect a whole lot from the season. It was kind of a rough go. And it was a lot of ups and downs. And ultimately, at one point, we weren't even sure we were going to make a bowl game. And then all of a sudden, we were in the running. If we win one more game, we are in the Big Ten championship, and then we lost to Nebraska of all teams to lose to, and didn't make that, which honestly we didn't deserve to be in it anyways. Um, it, so we did make a bowl game. It's been, like I said, an up and down season, but we ended up playing Kentucky from the SEC. We made the Music City Bowl, and really it was a pretty good game for Iowa. It was kind of a surprise as far as quarterback situation. We ended up having Joe Labus, or I think that's how you say his name. It's his first career start. He's a freshman. He's actually the scout team quarterback, and I guess he's been tearing up our defense, which is one of the best in the country. So really impressive, and he started off fantastic. Uh, even though he didn't end up scoring a bunch of touchdowns, he was throwing the ball. He was doing his checkdowns. He wasn't just settling. He was really kind of pushing the envelope. He missed a few throws, but overall he was really good. I was pretty impressed. I was a little disappointed in some of the coaching choices as far as running plays. I thought there was some times that we should have pushed the envelope, and we kind of just decided to run the ball three times and punt. Typically in Kurt Ferentz teams, we this is kind of what we tend to do. We be really conservative, and we don't try to really push the envelope and get out ahead. Um, a- and that can be really frustrating because a lot of teams actually do push it, and they try to break them leads wide open. But ultimately, the defense did what they always do. They were really tough. Scored two pick sixes, which was huge, obviously. But the offense was actually the first one on the board, so that was good. In fact, the first pick six actually came like 11 seconds. Within 11 seconds, we had two touchdowns and we were up 14-0. And then ultimately, we got another pick six. But look, that Joe Labus, he did excellent, I thought, for his first career start. I know he's not going to be the starter next year. We got Michigan's transfer, and he's going to be really good. But it's good to know that we have somebody like Joe behind him that we can count on, and we can build on the future with him. So that's really exciting. It was sad to see this is Sam Laporta's last game, but it was really nice to see him actually play and not opt out. He had a fantastic game. Even ran a little bit of wildcat, which was surprising, but it was quite the quarterback situation, really. I mean, Petrus was out with a shoulder injury, and Padilla was in the portal, so he couldn't play. And of course, we can't have the Michigan quarterback until next year. So it really came down to Laporta was actually the backup today, and he ended up running some wildcat, which was kind of cool to see. Um, but he had at least on one reception, he went into beast mode. Broke, I don't know, 3 or 4 tackles, and he just looked incredible. And then the very next play, Luke Lachey wasn't going to be outdone, and broke a tackle and ended up getting the touchdown, the lone offensive touchdown. As usual, our punter, fantastic, pinned him deep. I don't know how many times, which was great and really really important for helping the defense out. Sad to see Jack Campbell. He's one of my favorite linebackers of all time, and there's been a lot of good linebackers that have come from Iowa, whether it's Greenway or Josie Jewell or course, one of my personal favorites, Tyler Nielsen, just because I knew him. Which, by the way, means I know him. He was a fantastic guy outside of just being a great football player. And really, I don't think Iowa got to see how good he really was, because I got to play with him. He was 2 years ahead of me in school, and man, that guy was a freak athlete. And but he was just a good human being. He helped me out because I played a lot of the same positions, linebacker, tight end, and before that, he actually played offensive guard, which I played offensive guard. So he was always willing to help the younger kids, and just he was very, very intelligent, and just a really good guy, very grounded. So just a little inside information on him. But Iowa tends to turn out some great linebackers. I know today a lot of the broadcasting was talking about how many tight ends we've turned out, which we've had some amazing tight ends. And today, with you got Sam Laporta and Luke Lachey, and in the past Hawkinson and Noah Fant, and of course Dallas Clark. You can't leave him out. But it just over and over we turn out some good tight ends. Seems like and some great running backs. We've had really good linebackers, some defensive backs. Really, the only place we seem to struggle is our quarterback position, and that kid today was fantastic. I saw a lot of upside, a lot of potential with him, but sometimes I think we almost need a new quarterbacks coach. That tends to be because sometimes these backups will come in and it's like they play really well, they play loose, but then as they become a starter and they get more attention from that quarterback's coach, it's like they go into a shell. But this guy was hitting his checkdowns. He was also looking to push the envelope. He wasn't just settling for that underneath throw all the time. He was willing to step up and take off. He did really good. So I was impressed. I was really impressed. I feel great that we have a good quarterback coming in, and we have this guy. So I don't know who coaches the scout team, but you might want to move him over to be the quarterback's coach because that guy was fantastic. Overall, great way to end the season. But I thought today's game kind of really was the epitome of this season. I mean, really, it had some ups and downs. Ultimately, once again, the defense outscored the offense. I don't know if there's ever been a team that scored more defensively than this team compared to its offense. I it was really kind of wild on how little the offense could do uh, this year. It was really surprising. I will say Petrus really kind of did come along. He never was fantastic, but he did have some really pretty good games. Especially after the Illinois. I thought he played decent at the Illinois game, and then from that point on, he really played fairly well. I wasn't too disappointed with him. But it's just ultimately the play calling, I think, was a little bit. And I know a lot of people jump on Kirk Ferentz, and he's the only thing I fear is that if we get rid of Ferentz, we end up having like Nebraska had, where they had really good teams, but they wanted a little bit more, and they just went downhill from there. And Ferentz always does tend to get us a winning season. I would like to see more. I would like to see us to be national contenders, but it's going to be really tough in Iowa with the recruiting, and just it's going to be tough. So he does get us winning season. We're competitive, and we get respected throughout the country. So for the most part, I mean, not always, but I don't know which way to go from Ferentz. It's been great having him for this long. I don't know if it's about time for him to go or not. I don't want to see him do what Hayden Fry did and ultimately overstay and coach for too long. But I'm optimistic at the future of Iowa, so that's always a good thing. So yeah, I just kind of overall, I really had a good feeling about that game. I think they played really well. Even the offense, even though it wasn't scoring a lot of points, it seemed to be moving the ball and making a difference. They were able to move the ball at least enough to put the defense in a good position to actually get after the other team. They were able change that field, which is so important. Field position is huge in football. So anyways, that's really about all I have for the Iowa game. And if you like content like this, I know this is a little different than what I always typically do. I don't talk that much about sports, but if you like sports talk, there is a group of friends of mine that do a basically all sports podcast, and they're really good. They're really into it. They have a lot of knowledge on sports. And it's not just Iowa stuff. They got Iowa State represented. They even have Florida represented, and they're really good. And that's Knuckleheadz. It's a Knuckleheadz podcast. Maybe I'll try to find what their podcast is, like the link or something, and put it in the description. But these guys they're pretty good, and this is what they talk about all the time. So if you like that kind of content, you can find their channel. But if you like my channel and different stuff, and I do talk about everything. So sometimes I think we need to break apart and look at some other things, but and then we'll come back to the scripture as always. But anyways, okay, I'm not gonna lie, that was the wrong song.
I like it. I love it. I want some more.
That's the one I was looking for. So if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be great. Most importantly, we're just trying to get the word of God out. Sometimes I will have episodes like this where I'm talking about something different just to break things up and maybe bring in a little different crowd. But always want to share Jesus. He died for you. He loves you. And I do too. So as always, stay salty. Be kind, my friends.